then it would be hot enough to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. So I will plug it in and I will turn it on. Now, I know my doll head. I usually like to work with Deborah, her name is. And so Deborah, I know that the optimum heat for her, I have never colored her, I have never bleached her or nothing. I just, the way she came is the way I'm using it. So I know that for her, I put it on high. So you would know before you go to state board what doll you're taking. If you're taking a doll that you've bleached before, obviously that temperature should be a little bit lower. If you've taken a doll that is really coarse hair, maybe that temperature needs to be a little bit higher. So you know before you go to state board what that temperature should be. So I'm gonna plug this in. And turn it on and leave it on my station. Since I touched the cord and I touched things that, that might be dirty, I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize my hands again. So, next thing I'm gonna do is unpack the rest of my supplies. I have my thermal curling supplies, which is that comb and the Sanex strip. Air out, squeeze out the air out of the bag and throw that away. I have my hair cutting supplies. So I have my razor, my shear, and my ruler back comb. Now I have this and this. This is sanitizable, the pouch that the shears come in. I should sanitize it before I put them back in. So this is gonna go into my items to be disinfected baggie. So I have to make sure I'm putting it in the right spot. I'm not gonna throw that away, I reuse it. The other one is my trash baggie. So squeeze out the air and put that in your trash. Okay, so far I'm doing pretty good. Next thing is my doll. So I'm gonna squat down and grab my tripod. By the way, I'm being timed. And she told me that I'm gonna be reminded when 7 minutes are remaining. So maybe at this time she's gonna say that or not, but I know I'm being timed, so I am working on my speed. So the baggie, I can just throw it behind my kit underneath the shelf because I want it to be out of the way. Now remember, we talked about us being prepared with our tripod. You gotta know what kind of tripod you're gonna take so that you know how to use it, you're familiar with it. Mine, I start at the bottom. I'm gonna open the bottom thingy and close it. All the bottoms first. And then I'm gonna set it down. And I want it to be maybe near my waist high or so. So if I need to adjust this a little higher or a little lower, I can do that. Let's say I wanted it a little bit higher. I have a couple of ways of doing it. I could just wind this up because that's the way my tripod works. I don't know how your tripod works. And then lock it into place. So that might work. That works for me. I also have these little knobs that can adjust how this turns. And my tripod also has this little thingy here that tightens it up too. So I think that's good. So I set up my tripod. Now since I touched something dirty, then I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize my hands. My mirror is here. You're gonna work like you're working on a client. I'm facing you guys because I want you to see what I'm doing. But normally, if this was imagine this is your salon chair, this is your client, she's gonna be here facing the mirror and I'm gonna be facing her. You know, I'm gonna be working on her that way. I just have it this way so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll sanitize my hands since I touched that. And let me grab my Deborah. I could have pulled her out sooner, but if I didn't, it's okay. I can pull her out now. Just put her on the tripod. Make sure that I'm zipping the kit closed. Sanitize my hands, and I'm ready to drape Deborah. So, I have my baggie that is for my client drape. I'll go ahead and open that and dump it right on my table. But make sure you're careful when you're dumping it so that it doesn't roll off. Squeeze out the air, throw this away in my trash bag. My curling iron is heated up. She's almost ready to go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and drape her. This is a single drape. So I'll grab her hair. Notice I didn't pick up my brush yet. I'll put the clip in, and I'm gonna take my single drape, my one towel. For me, the easiest way to do this is just to take it, wrap it right under her chin, nice and snug, nice and clean, not wrinkled. And then at the end, I'm gonna tuck the tail part in, or the corner in. I want this towel to be snug, so look at mine is loose. I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna keep doing it until I can get it nice and snug, because if it's gonna slip off now, it's gonna give me a problem throughout my exam. So I wanna work carefully with every step that I do. So now that's better. Now that's nice and snug. I'm gonna take my miniature little cape. And I want to make sure that the cape does not come in contact with her neck. So do you see why it was important to put this all the way up? That way when I put my cape, it's not gonna touch her neck. So I don't want it to touch any part of that. If my towel slipped down, I would readjust it higher and put it there. So my cape is Velcro. I'll go ahead and just fasten it. Okay, I'll take that one clippy out. And I'm not supposed to start any part of the procedure. Actually, if she was here, my table setup is ready. She's ready to go. And I'm done with domain number 1. I would now sanitize my hands and step back. When you step back, the examiner knows that that means you're ready. Because if I keep playing with her hair, and you know, usually there's 8 students, 4 to 8 students in a room. Now with the pandemic, it might be just 4 students. I don't know, applicants. So imagine if all the applicants were playing with their doll's hair or touching things and just kind of, you know, being in contact, then the examiner thinks they're not ready to move along yet. The only way she knows you're ready to move along is once you sanitize your hands and you step back. So the door into the procedure is sanitizing your hands, and the door out of the procedure is sanitizing your hands and stepping back. So that is domain number 1.